Hello friends, this is Raj Sastry from Raj Option Trading. Today is November 20th, 2022. Hope you're all doing well. In today's segment, we'll take a look at how to trade like a pro using my favorite platform, Finviz. Look, there are so many people paying thousands of dollars for screeners like Trade Ideas and many other screeners, and you don't need to be so fancy. All you need is a simple tool which is fast and effective. I find Finviz is very effective, and you could make a lot of money if you trade right and screen right using Finviz. I love it because of the simplicity and speed of execution of this Finviz platform. And one more reason I love this tool is if you have a Finviz Elite membership, you can download the data and you can take it to Excel spreadsheet and analyze further. So with that, let's jump in here and look at various tiers of subscription that Finviz offers. So as you click on Elite here, look, it tells you what's Elite. Look, if you have Elite, you pay around $24.96, as you can see here, for on a monthly basis. That's a very good price here, because you're committing for 1 year subscription. You just pay around $24.96. And you can cancel it if you want to try it out for a month. If you cancel it within a month, you'll get your money back. So that's a good story. So as you go through here, it tells you the difference between the various tiers. As you can see here, free, you can have a free tier, and you get a lot of information free of charge. And I recommend you to go into registered, not really free, because the moment you have registered, you can really store some of your screeners. Look, you can save your presets. Presets is like your filters. If you like some filter, you want to save it. The moment you're registered, you can save your presets. That's a good one here. And if you really want to download the data and create your own custom view, that's where you can go into the the Finviz Elite, and you will also get real-time data. As you can see here, the quotes, charts, maps, all these things are real time when you have Finviz Elite. Especially for the folks who are extremely swing traders and day traders, they can go with the Finviz Elite. I do have Finviz Elite, which is very useful. Look, I got subscription to various tools, as many of you know. I have checked out the Trade Ideas, I've checked out TC2000, and I do have the Trading View. And I've checked out many tools here, but Finviz Elite is one of the best, mainly because it's so simple to use. And anytime I want to go into a scanning tool, naturally I'm drawn to Finviz Elite because of the simplicity and the speed. So with that, look, if you have Elite version, you have these layouts and trade signals. And you have layout and trade signals in the registered version also, but you have intraday chart if you have Finviz Elite. So with that, let's jump in and go into Finviz Elite and see if we can look at this platform here. So with that, let me go into Finviz Elite here, and look, I have right here Finviz Elite. As you go into Finviz platform, you have a lot of information here. Look, it's a very nice chart. The moment I get up in the morning, I go into this platform, and first thing normally I do is look at the futures. Look, as you go into the futures, depending on what you want to see, I typically first go into the indices and see how are the major indices doing, and it tells you in last few months how is it doing. And if you're a currency trader, I know many of you are currency traders, you could go into currencies and look at the currencies and see how they're doing. And most folks, they want to look at the currencies in a little more detail. You could look at the performance if you want to look at the performance, and so on and so forth. We look at some of these things in little more detail and go from there. And folks who want to do Forex, I know a lot of people do Forex. You could look at the Forex here. And many folks, even though this is a good enough chart, but more importantly, you could look at this right here. Look, we got performance here. You could look at the performance here. I know a lot of people look at the performance here. That's a good one here. You could click on performance here, and now it brings up the performance of these currencies. And look, you got daily, weekly, monthly, and most folks I know, they look at pairing of these currencies. For example, look, we got NZD, very much high, as you can see here in one day, up 0.39. But if you look at Canadian dollars, it's down. You could pair up these two currencies and you could trade. And many times you got to look at weekly, monthly, not just daily. So I suggest you go into weekly mode here and see what's going on here. Weekly also, you got here, you got look, you got, let's get out of this. As you can see here in the weekly, you got NZD high, and you got CHF low, and you got Canadian dollar also low. As you can see here, you can see kind of chart pattern or performance patterns as you go into the daily to weekly to monthly. And now we go to monthly here. Look at the pairs here. Look, NZD doing very nicely, and Canadian dollars is not doing great. Looks like you can trade the NZD and Canadian dollar pair and go from there. So it gives a good idea. So next what we'll do is we'll go into this home screen. I always love to go into this home screen, especially a little bit earlier, because the moment you have elite membership, you can look at the pre-market a little bit early. That's where I go into this elite tool here. As I go here to elite, as you go into the description here, the moment you have elite, you have a you can look at this information earlier. You can look at pre-market data, and that's the best thing about the elite. So with that, let's go back here into the screener here. Look, we got wealth of information here, and look, you got top gainers, top losers, and so on and so forth. I will let you go through my previous video as I walk through this. In today's video, I will not take too much time on those. I will focus on how to screen and what are my best screens. From a screening perspective, I recommend you to go to screener here, one of the best screener in the industry, bar none. A lot of good features for you to go into the details. And I suggest you to click on all, so that way you get all stocks. Depending on your style of trading, many times my style is to buy low and sell high. That's my forte. That trading strategy has made me good money, because normally what happens if you buy low, especially when it's a good stock, it always comes back. You may have to be a little bit patient, but it always comes back. So with that, my favorite strategy is to buy low and sell high. So with that, you could look at how to screen such things here. What I would do is there are a couple things you can do here. First thing I typically do, I don't want to, typically when I go to this strategy, I want to stay away from penny stocks, and I would go to price more than $10. That's my sweet spot for this strategy here. I will say price over $10. And before I do that, let me change it back here. Look, Finviz platform, it tells you, hey, you know what, if you don't apply any filters, there are 8,475 stocks. So look, nobody has time to look at all these 8,000 stocks. That's why this rich set of this filters come into play. Look, we got rich set of filters here. You can filter down from these 8,400. Normally what I do is first thing I do is I would look at only ETFs. Look, you can go here, actually you can filter out ETFs to begin with. Look, I will say only stocks for this screener here, because my idea is to look at the beaten down stocks and with a good potential and buy them. Look, now we are down from 8,000 to 6,000, as you can see here, just with one filter here saying I need only stocks. Next, what I would do is I would even filter down further using the price here. I will say price more than $10 for my strategy, which is buying low, selling high. Price more than $10 always works out well. Look, now we are down from 6,000 to 3,000. It's a good number here. You could go with this here. And next what you'll do is really, I want to look at the stocks which are down, depending on your, how you want to see it. Sometimes if you're a day trader, you look for the down for the day. And if you're a swing trader, you can do that too. And you could look at various other things. I will go into it in a little bit here. And next very important thing I do is liquidity. Look, liquidity is very important when you trade stocks. Don't trade without liquidity. For my purposes here, because I want to get in, get out very quickly, I always go into average volume here. I want to make sure average volume is over 2 million, as you can see here. Now look, we are down to 527. That's a very liquid stocks, as many of you know here. Very liquid stocks. The moment you have average trading volume over 2 million, though, that's the good set of stocks here. And next thing I always do is look at the average true range. Look, average true range is very, very, very important. I can't stress enough, because for us to make money, stock has to move. It has to move up or down nicely on a daily basis. Normally, because I love stocks that are moving, I typically go into average true range over 0.5. That tells you the stock has to move on an average 50 cents per day. Look, from 527 with this filter, we are back to 482 here. Nice set of filters here. The moment we have these filters here, then you can do a few more things here depending on your strategy. Because my strategy is to buy low here, I would say go right here and look at some of the filters here. RSI is one of my favorite filters. Look, we got relative strength index, or RSI. That helps you to identify whether the stock is oversold or not. So typically what I go is I go to RSI 14 here. I typically look at oversold. I go into oversold 40 here. It's that's a good strategy. I want to look at stocks which are oversold and especially make sure they're good and buy them. Look, the moment I do this, now look, we are back to 27 stocks, which is a very, very, very good list here. Just 27 stocks here. And next what you can do is really couple things you can do here. If you have Finviz Elite membership like I have, you could click on this custom screen here. I have a custom screen and I could look at these stocks in little more detail. Look, we got a set of information here in this screen. Look, we got price to sales that tells you PE, and price to sales that tells you the company making money. So I love to especially look at companies making money. Many times I might look at positive PE. And then you got various other things here. I love things like profit margin. Look, we got profit margin here. Typically I love to look at companies having some good profit margin. So if I'm trading consistently, I want to avoid these companies that are losing money. And then we got performance here. Even if you don't have Finviz Elite, you can look at this, but in multiple windows. Look, we got multiple windows. If you don't have Finviz Elite, you will end up clicking on performance to look at the performance, as you can see here, and go from there. So because I got Finviz Elite here, I can just bring up a custom view like I have it here and go from there. And for example, many times when I trade, I really make sure the profit margin is positive, so that way I don't end up in some of these stocks losing money, especially in this market. Companies, Wall Street does not have patience for money losing companies. I can just go here and look, we got gross margin here and profit margin right here, net profit margin. I can say positive here, so it will bring down the list further. Look, now we got the list here. From 8,700 stocks, we are into 14 stocks. This is what I want to trade and make money. Look, what you can also do, I know many of you are options traders. If you're options traders, don't worry. There is a option short right here. You can say optionable, and you look at only stocks which are optionable. Again, all these 14 stocks are optionable, as you can see here. Look, list of stocks which are optionable. Once you have this here, what you can do is you can look at the charts. Look, we got chart right here, and you could look at the charts, and you can get a nice view of the charts. I put Bollinger Band here. You could add other indicators into the chart as usual. Look, what do we see here? Profitable companies, and look, companies are really trending down, as you can see here, trading down. And now they're trying to, in case of Amazon.com, look, it's slightly came down, and we got CTLT down big time. Stocks like this are my go-to strategies. Look, it's below its lower Bollinger Band here. It could be a good time to buy such companies. You got to do a little more research as usual and go from there. We got D here. Look, this one is also down big time here. It's a profitable company. We got Disney. Disney hit big time down here. I say it's a good time to buy some Disney. I think they will do well. A lot of negative news in the market. And then you got your DLO. Look, this one down big time here. Look at the drop in DLO here. You could look at such. It's trying to come up here. And you got FIS, same story. Look, it's down big time. And you got a few more like Generac. Generac used to be a Wall Street darling a while ago. Look, it's down big time. I play these stocks. These are also very active in the options market. You could look at the options market if you're an options player. Look, Tesla is my favorite of late here. Our friend Elon Musk sold a lot of Tesla, as many of you know here. It came down big time, as you see here. This is a good time if you're for this one, because it's around $180 stock here. You could easily buy some call options, maybe say 2 months out expiration, and you could make some good money here. Last time also, when Elon was about to buy Twitter, he sold bunch of Tesla stock. He did it again, and I'm sure this time also stock will bounce back just like it did last time. And then you got a few more here, VET. And look, ZI. I love ZI. Many of you know this is a great company, and this company is helping the sellers, the sales force, to really find out who is the decision maker in their in the company they want to sell their software. I think it's a great company. They got a lot of Salesforce related tools here, so that your Salesforce can sell, and they know who are the decision makers, and they can target them using ZI. So it's a great one here. This is my go-to screener. You could look at these here if you want. You could take a screenshot. You could always customize according to your needs. This is my favorite bounce play here. I want to buy stocks when they're low and sell them later. All right, so what I will do is I will refresh this here, and let you will explain you a couple of more things that you can do here. So what I will do is I will basically refresh this. I will say Finviz again here and get rid of all these things and go from there. Look, I'm going back to Finviz, and just you could also click on the home button here. All right, next thing I want to talk about is chart patterns and how to scan using chart pattern. I love this. The moment you have a registered account here, you could look at the chart pattern. Look, we got a signal here. Typically, I know many of you are head and shoulders type person. You can say, what, I want to look at inverse head and shoulder. Typically, the moment you look at inverse head and shoulders, it's a good sign the company can stock can go higher. You could just click on it. Look, from 8,000 stocks, we are down to 37. And you could also say, hey, I don't want the ETF here. You can say stocks only. Now we are back to from 37, it's back to 30. And many times, look, I may not be interested in very low price stocks. If you want to ignore these very low price stocks here, you could say, hey, I want to look at stock price more than $10 if that's your forte. Or if you want to look at stocks under 10, you could do that too. For this example, let's say we want to look at over $10. Look, we are down to say just 22 here. And this is a good set of stocks here. And you could also look at the average volume, and you don't want to look at very low average volume. You can say I want average volume, say more than 500k. You could just select that, or you could even say 1 million. That's my favorite. And look, we are into just 5 stocks here. Look, these are the inverse head and shoulder, and you could go into the chart right here. I love to look at charts. You could look at the chart right here, and many times I also look at just snapshot. It's a very nice way of looking at these stocks here. Look, we got a nice snapshot view, these stocks here. But if you want to get a bird's eye view before snapshot, you can click on charts here. You got a nice bird's eye view. We got VLY, CADE, and so on and so forth here. Inverse head and shoulder pattern here. And at this point, you could try to get into them and buy them. And for many of you, like myself included, if you want to look at the profitable companies, you can say, what, I want net margin positive. Now we can, it's just 5 stocks. These are net margin positive companies. You could go after those and go from there. And in addition to this, if you want to look at other chart patterns, you could add them. For example, you want RSI, oversold. You could just do that. You can say RSI oversold. Now we are down to nothing because these stocks are trying to go higher. That's the reason. And you could say just click back here, look at any, and do some research on these things here. And you've got a lot of chart pattern here. For example, you don't want to look at inverse head and shoulders, no problem. And you could just say, what, I want to look at something else here. For example, many folks want to look at double bottom or double top. You could do it. My favorite way is to really look at the trend line support here. Trend line support will tell you what stocks have got good trend line support here. You could just click on it. Now we got trend line support, and I can go on the overview, or I could go into my custom view that I highlighted here. Look, trend line support. Right now we got 6 stocks here. We got Seagate, STX, and we got LC, and so on and so forth. All average volume more than 1 million and price more than $10. And you could look at these in the charts here, and also look, this platform is so powerful. They got here insider transactions. I always have this in my chart here. Looks like ACHO. There is nice institutional buy, look, we got CLF, also nice institutional buy, as you can see here. You could also look at those things here. And for example, talking about insider buys, you could also go right here, and you could say here, you can say recent insider buying. This is one of my favorite filters. I always want to look at insider buying. That's always a great one here. You could click on recent insider buying, and now look, we got a list of companies with the positive profit margin, as you can see here. Price over $10 and average volume over 1 million. Now look, we got these stocks here. Home Depot, Intel, Zion, AVTR. We look at the insider buying right here. We got insider transactions, recent insider buying. Even though this one is, some of them could be older here, but on these there is a recent insider buying. You could look at these. For example, if you click on one of these, I'll click on first one here. You could click on it, and the moment you click on it, you look, the moment you have Finviz Elite, look at this. I love these charts here. Look, the EPS going higher, sales slightly taking them beating here, as you can see here. Shares outstanding coming down. I love these things here. And we got analyst upgrade and downgrade as usual here. And look, if you want to look at insiders here, it tells you we got here senior vice president buying here. Look, he's bought about 79, let's see here, 125k worth their own shares. Typically that's a good sign when a insider buys, so it's a good way. nice screening for the insider buying. And for the folks who want to look at stocks which are less than $10, no problem. You could say under $10. Now look, we got RKT, rocket companies. Very, I know many of you love to trade rocket. And in this one, because I got this elite, I also have a short float here. Look, it's a heavily short stock here. You could trade this. It's again profitable company, as you can see here, and you could trade and make some money here. And it's got wealthy of these things here. If you want to trade and see what stocks had earnings after the market closed, no problem, you could just click on it and look. For this one, probably let's remove all these filters, and then you could just say you want to look at stocks which had earnings. So you can just go here and say stocks which had earnings. Let's see here, where is right here, earnings after the market closed. And look, we got CNET here. It had its earnings after the market closed. You could look at such names here, and if you go to my custom view here, you can also see after market what happened. Look, after hours it came down. It had earnings, and you could also change it. If you want to see what stocks had earnings before the market closed. Look, you got few companies here. These companies had earnings before the market open, and look, there's many of these companies, as you can see here, they've gone up. Few of them have gone up. Look, we got a gap up play here with AKTR. All right, so it's got plenty of filters here. Many of you want to look at gap up play here. You could look at gap up, channel up, various filters here. Look, we got double bottom, double top, wedge up. Many of you want to look at ascending triangle versus descending triangle. If you are in a if you want to buy long, you could look at ascending triangle. Look, we got these stocks with ascending triangles. You could take a look at this. I love this tool because it tells you nice patterns the moment you click on it. Very versatile, very very good, very fast. Next, what we'll do is I want to cover one topic. This topic is about charts. Look, this Finviz introduced charts a while ago. This is for the folks who want to look at intraday and they want to see how the stock is moving intraday. So I would click on charts here, and look, you got various mode here. Look, there is a bright mode if you like bright mode, but for my purposes I like the dark mode, a little bit easy on the eyes. And look, the moment you go into this here, there are various things. For folks who got multiple monitors, you could go in here and make it multiple layouts. We got plenty of choices, as you can see here, 1 2 3 4 all the way to 6. You could choose any of the any of these formats. For our purposes, we'll choose 2 here. As you can see here, we got 2 windows. And there's a sync here. If you want to see same stock in 2 different windows or 4, doesn't matter, you just click on the sync here. That will make sure it's syncs up. The moment you see a blue bar around it, that tells you you are syncing the same symbol across the 2 different charts. So with that out of the way here, now you can look at various things here. For example, one of my favorite stock, Apple. Let's look at the Apple here. And what I have here is I got a as you can see here, you can change your intervals. I got a 3-minute chart on the left hand side. You could also change it to 1 minute if you like. For now, for this example, let's stick with 5 minutes on the left hand side here. On the right hand side, I want to look at a little bit higher interval. I will choose 15 minutes or on the right hand side. You could also change it to 30 or whatever you want to do. Look, we got those 2 here, and now you could look at adding some chart pattern. If you want to add some chart pattern here, all you have to do is go into this here, the gear icon here, and look, we got various chart pattern here. If you want to change your candle type here, you could change the candle type. You got various options here. Many folks like Heikki Ashi, You could go to hollow, line, OHLC, so on and so forth. For this example, we would stay with the candlestick here, and then you could go into, do you want to see pre-market and after-market? Especially if you got Finviz Elite membership, you could look at pre-market and after-market, my favorite. And then you could look at various overlays. For now, by default, it will give you 50, 200, and 20. And I added Bollinger Bands. You don't need to worry about Bollinger Bands. You might do something different. For example, instead of Bollinger Band, you might want to look at, say, VWAP, especially the intraday folks. They might want to look at VWAP. You could add VWAP here, which is volume weighted average. So look, we got VWAP here, and there is also a nice legend here. VWAP is right here, as you can see here, the purple color, and you could see how it looks here. Look, we got it asks you, do you want to discard? I will say I don't want to discard here. I want to save this, and I can say save right here. All right, now we got our VWAP here, as you can see here. And if you want to change something else, you know what, I like this here. So it's got two different settings here, as you can see here. One setting is at the top. These are overlays. Overlay, as many of you know here, it shows up on the chart itself, as you can see here. It's along with the stock chart. And there's also one more thing you can add here. You could add some indicators. As you can see here, you can click on the indicator, and look, we got various indicators here, and you can select your indicator, and you got ADX, ATR, MACD, and so on and so forth here. So you could choose any of these indicators. For our example here, I love indicators like relative strength. That's a good one here. And you could also choose stochastics if you like stochastics, or Williams R, and so on and so forth here. For this example here, let's choose probably say MACD indicator, and add MACD. Look, now we got MACD indicator. I could save MACD here. Look, there's a nice MACD indicator. It kind of tells you what's going on here. And if you don't like MACD, or if you want to add more indicators, you could go here and go on here, and look, we got set of indicators, and you could click on these indicators here, add maybe one more indicator. Look, we got here set of indicators. CCI, it's also one of my favorite indicator. And you could look at stochastic as an example. You could look at stochastic fast if you want to add. From an indicator perspective, as you can see here, there are a few choices, but you don't have an extensive list of indicators like other typical trading platforms. As you can see here, it's a subset. Especially if you go into platforms like TradingView or Thinkorswim, you got many more indicators. But this one, because it's primarily not a charting platform, they're trying to evolve into a charting platform. You have a good subset of the indicators here. Let's do one thing. Let's add stochastic fast here, which is one of my favorite indicator. Now look, we got stochastic fast indicator also added right here, as you can see here. So this is how I would be using this chart here. Kind of look at multiple time frame. If you want to trade a lower time frame, always have a higher time frame, so that way you can play around. So for the folks who want to increase the layouts, for example, hey, you know what, I want to look at 6 charts, no problem. You could just click on here, and you got here 6 charts here. Look, nice 6 charts here. And you could also add a crosshair. We got Apple here. You got here 5 minutes, 15 minutes, and you could change it to 1 hour. Look, we got 30 minutes here, and you could change it to say 1 hour, and you could say 2 hours right here. And this one here, you could make it daily if you want to, so that way you got a nice assortments here. You could say 1 day. Look, we got a nice set of things here. As you look at the Apple here, you could see how it's doing. The moment you have many of these things here, probably you can remove some of these indicators here, the lower indicators, so that we can see what's going on. But if you have a bigger monitor, you could just put this whole thing into your bigger monitor and go from there. All right, so that's about the chart here. The best thing is really you can change it anytime. If you want to go back from say six view to two view, no problem. Just click on two view here, and look, we got our two view here. And many times you also need to look at the crosshair, no problem. You can click on here and click on the crosshair. The moment you click on crosshair, I like this crosshair all the time. The moment you move here, it also moves in the other screen also. So that's why crosshair is a good one to have here. Look, I'm moving somewhere here. It's also trying to move in the other screen. As you can see here, I'm moving right here. It's down big time here. Look, in the other screen also it's moving. So it's a crosshair, meaning as you move in one side here, other side also synchronizes. That's the crosshair. All right, so these are some of my great trading strategies that I use in Finviz. I love Finviz mainly because you don't need to go after the tools that charge you a lot of money. All you need is a one great or maybe say one or two great tools here. Normally I go for a nice Finviz elite type platform here, and then if I want to look at the chart in greater detail, I go to either a trading view platform or one of my favorite platform, which is Thinkorswim platform. It's also great. So all you need is few simple scanners, I say, for my purposes to trade successfully. Always Finviz is my best idea generator. Then I can go into trading view, or I can go into other platforms like Thinkorswim as an example. And one more thing I like about this platform, if I go back here to Finviz, is idea generation. For example, I don't know what I don't know. I know these days some of these crypto stocks are down big time. I can just type crypto here, and this platform will tell you all the companies that have got crypto in their profile here. So what I could do is I could open these things in the scanner here. Look, the moment I do this, I get some of these stocks with the crypto in their symbol here, as you can see. And you might want to, you may not know what are biotech stocks here, or you might want to look at COVID stocks. You just type COVID here, and look, you got COVID stocks right here. These are all stocks in the COVID. You could open them in the in this scanner. The moment you open them in the scanner, you can apply various filters as we talked about here. Out of all this 125 COVID stocks here, you might want to see, I want to look at only profitable COVID stocks. You can say net margin greater than zero here. Now you got positive, profitable crypto stocks here. And if you want to look at a few more things here, maybe average volume more than 1 million, like we talked about. Look, now we got those stocks here, and I can go into my favorite custom view here. And if I were to buy now, look, all these stocks are great. I would buy stocks like J&J, Eli Lilly, my favorite. I would buy, even BMY is good here. And you could click on the charts here just to see how they're doing here, and you get a good idea here. Look, we got BMY, Bristol Myers, one of my favorite stock. They've been improving their portfolio. Look, it's down big time. Now it's trying to go higher. Good time to buy some Bristol Myers. And J&J, it's a great stock. It's on the move. I might wait for a little pullback here. Lilly is a good one. It always gives you buying opportunity. Look, big drop. Again, slightly big drop. It always gives you buying opportunity. Lilly is one of my core holdings. I always buy this when it drops here. It's a great one here. And then you got Moderna. Look, I would not touch Moderna here. I would wait for a pullback. That's why the moment you get this here, you could also say, say RSI here. RSI, oversold right here, oversold. And now it will filter it further down. Look, there is nothing. All these healthcare stocks are cruising higher, as you can see here. So this is how I would generate idea. In summary, you don't need so many stock screeners. Look, everybody wants to sell your stock screener, charge you $1,000 for it, and I think all you need is a simple stock screener. If you don't want to pay any money, just go with the registered version, which is free. You can go with that. But if you want to really make some more money and look at the pre-market, download the chart, look at the intraday Then go into this Finviz Elite, which is my top screener. Very simple, no need to look at all this detailed technical jargon. Very easy. I would anytime go with the Finviz Elite. So with that, thank you very much. Happy investing and trading. Please subscribe.